Hey guys, Pat Ryarchy here, also known as the Patriarchy. As we're coming to the end of the year, the last few days here, and I'm about to wrap up this Biggest Losers of 2016 series. It was really hard for me to come up with the last couple videos. I was having a tough time deciding exactly what I wanted to focus on. And I wasn't going to do this one because I thought, fuck, this is just a little too political for me, for what I like to do on this channel. And it was just something that I never really went into before all the way. But something made me feel really emotional today. Something someone said, and I thought, I need to make this video because I need to try to get at the people that would be mad about me saying what I'm going to say in this video and the person I'm criticizing. So, the Biggest Loser 2016, this person is Barack Obama. We're knocking him off the list. Now, this list wasn't ever in any order. I did Hillary Clinton, I did Ghostbusters, right? But if we're just gonna say historically, maybe who had the biggest defeat here in a lot of ways for what they had invested in it, you could argue it was Obama, because Trump winning and the results of this election in general are kind of the end of Obama's policies, the end of Obama's legacy, and the end of everything Obama's been doing for 8 years. I mean, it really is kind of just the end of Obama. It's a very negative response to Obama's presidency. There's been a lot of debate about this. A lot of people said that was because of racism. Now, I'd argue those same white voters who voted for Obama twice, where he won elections by very large numbers, I think those people didn't all become racist 4 years later and just vote for Donald Trump out of nowhere. The numbers just aren't there for that to make any sense to me. If you want to project that onto it, that is fine, but I don't think there's evidence to prove that. I think that's a really radical assertion to say that it was a bunch of racism against Obama. I think it had more to do with Hillary Clinton. But why is Obama a loser? Well, I never really felt like he was a total loser. Don't get me wrong, the clips of him being a Jimmy Fallon and then the videos showing him shake Trump's hand and that stuff is hilarious. That's some of the best stuff out there. Just watching Obama talk shit about Trump, because nobody thought Trump was going to win, and then seeing him have to actually say like, "Oh shit, Trump's president." Wow. But here's my thing. The reason that a big reason that I do these videos I do now, that I'm the patriarchy, is because I started out being very much a radical liberal, a very much a regressive somewhat. I thought the rich were out to get me. I thought black people and gay people were all oppressed. I was kind of obsessed with them. I thought they were like superior to me, and I wanted to know about them so much. And then I thought Obama was this big deal. I really thought Obama was against the Clintons and the established politics, and he wanted to change things. I blame Obama and his presidency the last 8 years a lot for the regressive movement, where we're at now, the racial divide in this country. I don't care if he's black. I think he directly contributed to it when he, talked about Ferguson and talked about it like it was a race issue when it wasn't. When he supported Black Lives Matter. I'm so sick of the left criticizing anyone who criticizes Black Lives Matter, but they have the right to criticize everyone on the right and proclaim them alt-right because Hillary Clinton says it in a fucking speech, and then everybody all of a sudden says that all conservatives are alt-right white supremacists. But here's the proof for me that Obama is a loser. Me just feeling that way, that he personally changed me politically, that because of his policies and who he was as a person and how he acted as president, how he acted about America, how he treated terrorism, all those things always bothered me. I never liked how he acted about Islam. I've always felt like he's been way too much of a defender, and I'm not saying that he is Muslim. I'm just saying that I think he grew up with some Muslim influence. I think he was taught that as much as he was like a Bible, and I think he has a sympathy for Islam without looking at the results of the radical Islam, which is millions of people. I think that directly. But this to me shows you Obama's failure, okay? Because recently, in a CNN interview, Obama said that if he could have run in this election, if he could have done another third term, he thinks he would have beat Trump. Now, he probably would have, really, if we're saying he probably could have, but this is such a crazy hypothetical to even bring up. I think it's so stupid. And it shows the butthurt in Obama and some of the things he says here. But let's look at some articles, and then we'll really get at why I think Obama failed this year. And this was the death of as Obama's legacy, really, what Obama was, which I think at the end all Obama's going to be is a celebrity president. He was a guy that got along with a lot of celebrities in Hollywood. A lot of young people liked him. He had a great approval rating. He was funny. He was good on TV. I don't think people are going to look back at Obama's policies and the stuff Obama's done. They're not. Even if it was good or bad, people aren't going to look back on that at his presidency. It's going to be tainted by him leaving with such a big defeat. But here is the interview, right? This is from New York Times. President Obama expressed confidence that if he had run for a third term, he would have defeated Donald J. Trump, according to an interview released Monday with David Axelrod, his friend and former advisor. I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated it, I think I could have mobilized a majority of the American people to rally behind it, Mr. Obama said on Axelrod's podcast, The Axe Files, referring to his message of inclusion and helping middle-class Americans. I know that in conversations that I've had with people around the country, even some people who disagreed with me, they would say the vision, the direction that you point towards is the right one. Several hours after the interview was posted, Mr. Trump responded on Twitter. President Obama said he thinks he would have won against me. Mr. Trump, he says that, but I say no way. Jobs leaving, ISIS, Ocare, etc. Mr. Obama praised the Democratic nominee Hillary Clinton, saying that she performed well under difficult circumstances and that there was a double standard with her. For whatever reason, there's been a long-standing difficulty in her relationship with the press that meant her flaws were widely amplified. But Mr. Obama also said she campaigned too cautiously. If you think you're winning, then you have a tendency, just like in sports, maybe to play it safer, Mr. Obama said. He added, and the economy has been improving. There is a sense, obviously, that some communities have been left behind from the recovery, and people feeling anxious about that. It was nonsense, Mr. Obama said, that Democrats had abandoned white working-class Americans who rallied to Mr. Trump. Look, the Affordable Care Act benefits a huge number of Trump voters, Mr. Obama said. There are lots of folks in places like West Virginia or Kentucky who didn't vote for Hillary, didn't vote for me, but are being helped by this. The problem, Mr. Obama said, was the Democratic politicians were not communicating to the people that we understand why they're frustrated. We're not there on the ground communicating not only the dry policy aspects of this, but that we care about these communities, that we're bleeding for these communities. There's an emotional connection, and part of what we have to do to rebuild it is to be there, he said. And that means organizing, that means caring about state parties, it means caring about local races, state boards or school boards and city councils and state legislative races, and not thinking that somehow just a great set of progressive policies that we present to New York Times editorial board will win the day. Okay, in a telephone interview on Monday, Mr. Axelrod, now a commenter on CNN, said it was his sense that Mr. Obama was frustrated that his presidency is ending with his party has sustained such a dramatic loss. He believes the momentum is still on his side in the long term, Mr. Axelrod said. He's always been a guy who thinks long term and has an amazing ability to do that. I disagree. I think Obama's a very short-term thinker, and I think he always has been. I think Obama's 2008 campaign was a short-term process. I think he pitched a hope campaign that he didn't have thought out. I think he thought he could do things that he couldn't do. I think he promised a lot of things that he couldn't do. I think he changed drastically from that to 2012. And I think that because of that, and his lack to unite the Democratic Party, which I think he did the complete opposite. He just destroyed the Democratic Party. And you know what the proof is? How many seats were lost during Obama's presidency, right? Okay. Here's from Fox News, which I went to New York Times and Fox News, but this is data that is true. These aren't biased spins on these things. These are you can look this stuff up anywhere. I'm just using this article for formatting, you fuckers. But this to me is just proof that Obama lost, right? Okay, President Obama claims he would have won a third term if he had been allowed to run, but even if he's right, his coattails haven't done much for the rest of his party. Okay. When Obama's tireless campaigning, broad demographic appeal, and message of hope and change help propel him to 2 terms in the White House, his skills on the stump haven't translated down the ballot. This is just true. Fox News is not spinning this. This is just true. The Democratic Party has not gained momentum. Obama had a Democratic majority when he first went in, and then by 2012, he didn't have it anymore. And people now, again, have went out and voted majority Republican, including the presidency, something that people said couldn't happen anymore. People said the Republican Party was dead and they couldn't win a presidency. And the states that Trump had to win were states that weren't won for years, since like the 80s. Right? How does this happen? Okay, the Democratic Party suffered huge losses at every level during Obama's West Wing tenure. The grand total, a net loss of 1,042 state and federal Democratic posts, including congressional and state legislative seats, governorships, and the presidency. The latter was perhaps the most profound example of Obama's popularity failing to translate to support for his allies. Hillary Clinton, who served as Secretary of State under Obama, brought the first family out for numerous campaign appearances. In September, Obama declared that his legacy is on the ballot. Right? Do you remember that? Obama went out and said to people that it would be a personal insult to him if you didn't go out and vote for Hillary Clinton. He was saying this to the black and Latino voters who did not show up. This is the same man that said Hillary Clinton would lie and do anything to become president. No way. And then she was supposed to retire. Here she is in 2016, desperation mode. Obama comes out and keeps telling us we need to vote for Hillary Clinton. I thought it was just a poor decision. I really did. It came off such like a false note for Obama to come support Hillary there, and it was so funny that he thought if he just said to people, well, hey, vote for Hillary because of me, it was going to work. And to me, it confirms a big thing about Obama, too. He got a lot of that black and Latino vote just because of him being black. The left always loves to talk about confirmation bias. They always love to talk about how white people are so biased. Yet they never mention that applies to everyone. Black people are biased, too. Why does the black vote not show for Hillary Clinton? Because she's an old white lady. That's really, she can't get that same appeal. Now, don't get me wrong, Obama needed the white vote to win. You couldn't have won unless you got the majority of the country. Obama dominated whites, too. But Obama had appeal that covered all of that. Hillary really only appealed to a certain type of white liberal. Out there. It was kind of laughable. Where Donald Trump could bring in people that weren't even Republican because he was such a non-conservative type politician. He wasn't your typical thing. But here he is criticizing Islam. Even if Donald Trump says dumb stuff, he's criticizing Islam. He's talking about immigration. He's criticizing these things. Apparently, the American people, a large portion of them agree with him. So it's like Brexit. But Obama will not have that. Not with his identity politics. He pushed transgender issues, gender equality. He brought up the wage gap in his speech. Stuff that's all been debunked by people on YouTube. Idiots like me. We tried to fall back on Obama's education, his Harvard degree, his ability to speak, him being so much better than George Bush. But Obama was just another radical side of the problem that existed with George Bush, with too much power, executive power, too much of one ideology taking over. I thought Obama was a radical leftist. He was radical in a lot of the things he wanted in globalization and how he wanted to handle Europe and how he wants to handle terrorism. I think he believes in this peaceful one world order thing that I just don't think is practical, and I don't think America can ever really have with the rest of the world. I think it's a nice idea to try and have, but I don't think it's even slightly practical. But anyway, when Obama and others note that Clinton still won the popular vote last month, a Democrat shaved down the Republican majority on Capitol Hill. Others in the party have voiced concerns about where Democrats go from here. We're not even a national party at this point, Rep. Tim Ryan said last month as he made a failed run at the House Minority Leader position. We have some support on the coast, but we've lost the support of Middle America, and we've got to make some changes. So I'm pulling the fire alarm here because the house is on fire. See, that's the thing. Obama and everyone's trying to act like the flame isn't there. It is. They lost Middle America. They lost the blue-collar white voter this election drastically, and that's why this upset happened. You can have the popular vote and get everyone out in California all you want. You can get the West Coast, whatever. You can have those people. I've seen the Mark Dice videos where he goes and talks to a bunch of morons in California. Those people aren't more intelligent or more informed than anyone anywhere else. I'm so sick of this. Let's let these two cities decide the voting, New York and California, because they affect so much of the economy. Sure, they do. I don't think the people who live there, though, should decide everything with their biases. Are you kidding me? I've never met a more pompous, shitty group of people with biases than people who live in California. They are in such a bubble and disillusion with the rest of the country, they can make an objective decision. That's why I like the Electoral College, because it gives us enough samples around the country that at least we can get as close to a decision, a consensus, as we can from people all over the country. You're not going to get that with the popular vote shift, but the Democrats know that they can't win by playing the rules, even though Obama won by playing the rules. Every other Democrat's won by playing the rules. And you go back to the 80s, and some people won the popular vote. Ronald Reagan won the popular vote. Why is it now it's such a big issue for everyone with the popular vote? They feel like their votes didn't count. Oh, your votes did count. It just didn't turn out the way you thought it would, and that's okay. So let's look at some other things Obama said, right? In the wake of an election and Trump winning, a lot of people have suggested that somehow it really was a fantasy, Obama said at the Change slogan in 2008. What I would argue is that the culture actually did shift, that the majority does buy into the notion of one America that is tolerant and diverse and open and full of energy and dynamism. It doesn't sound like the Obama I know. He talks about America being united and all that, but he sure didn't help, separate the racial... I mean, he just made the racial divide worse. He's directly, for the last, I'd say 2 years in particular, really helped push the racial divide, really push this divide between us and Islam and religions, really made it like Christians in this country, people who share Western values are bad, yet these people who don't share our values in other countries, who treat people much poorer, the gay community and women, we're supposed to sympathize with all of a sudden. Not all of Germany was Nazi. Nazis were an issue. We had to take Nazis seriously after a point. I'm sorry if I take this stuff seriously. I care about my country and I care about people around the world who are suffering because of these things, including other Muslims. I am confident in this vision because I'm confident that if I had run again and articulated that I could mobilize the majority... See, this thing about Obama, the arrogance. Obama is such an arrogant, narcissistic guy. He's just as narcissistic as Donald Trump. This is something I've always said. Donald Trump's a narcissist in the sense that it's very obvious how he talks and acts. It's clearly a guy's obsessed with himself, right? Obama's a subtle narcissist in that you don't realize everything he's doing comes back to him and is about him, but it always is. Even this, if I could have run again, I would have won. Because I'm Obama. Hillary was the most qualified candidate ever, but I am Obama. I would have won. People love me. You're popular like a celebrity, Obama. You're really no different than Ronald Reagan in a lot of ways, that you were good at talking and television and stuff, and you're kind of actor-ish. Like I said, you Will Smith your way into the White House. Obama's really just been a fake face for the left to act like they have this moral superiority that they don't have at all. But their whole idea is that the Obamas are the greatest American family in years. It's like, yeah, they were a nice family and stuff, but that doesn't make Obama infallible, and that doesn't mean he fucked up a lot. He did. He says that he knows in the conversations that he's had with the people around the country, even some people who disagreed with him, that they see his vision as right. What's his vision? Right? His vision that America needs to be good and hopeful and good. Yeah, great. Yeah. Yeah, thanks, Obama. Thanks for telling us that. I never liked it. It's like Obama always condescendingly said, even going back to 2008, like he was trying to tell us how we could be better. And I felt like there was so much white guilt with that election. Even me, I felt like I had so much white guilt. And I think white guilt's one of the worst things in this country. I think it's such a toxic thing people have when they feel so guilty about being white in the past. And Obama's talking about how Hillary Clinton, the media was always against her. That's so weird considering the mainstream media was in Hillary Clinton's pocket during the primaries and everything. Never really reported on any of the things going on. Alternative media had to do all of the work of the journalist. WikiLeaks had to do all of the work. So I'm not sure what he's talking about. I think the media, if anything, the relationship they had was one of dishonesty and bias for Hillary Clinton. That's my opinion. I think there's way more evidence to support that. I'm so sick of the spin now that the media was against Hillary. That's weird, because that's nothing I saw during anything going on. The media was very much against Bernie Sanders. Then they were against Donald Trump. Hillary got away with, pretty much could have got away with anything. I mean, Trump has been ridiculed by every major media conglomerate out there on some level. Hillary Clinton hasn't. CNN's not going to come out and say bad shit about Hillary Clinton all the time. MSNBC, Rachel Maddow's not on there talking shit about Hillary Clinton. Are you kidding? You know how the left works? The left will never have self-reflection and self-criticism. Obama can't do it. Why the hell would anyone who's his lackey do it? The media is obsessed with him because he's black, because they're virtue signaling. Because all that exists anymore is identity politics. Because the left has become dry on any real policy, an economic policy, a foreign policy. They don't have any. They don't have answers to any of the questions, so they just try to fall back on, well, we're scientific, we're the common sense, we're smarter, we're morally superior, we like equality, we like everyone coming. No, you're not. You're just Marxists. You're just cultural Marxists who want to divide the country and turn us into a fucking socialist country. You want us to be Canada or Sweden, places that I don't want to be at all. I don't want a Justin Trudeau. No, I want innovation and things to happen here. I want the internet to happen again. The reason capitalism's so great is because of those things that keep evolving and happening, the competitions that's created. You guys just want us to be where we're like everyone else and there's no competition. You will not believe how irrelevant America will become as soon as that happens. And all the things that you enjoy about living in this country and all the great benefits of living in this country, they'll go away immediately. Immediately. The youth of people today, these millennials that are regressive leftists who just hate capitalism, they don't even understand economics. They don't even read. And they're here telling us about capitalism being the worst system ever. It's like, you just sound like an idiot. I mean, it sounds like you've never read a book, or you're only basing this off a sample size of things with a bias. Like, you can't compare us to Sweden. You can't compare us to Canada. It's not the same thing. You have to look at all the variables, but ask anyone to be objective when they're talking about politics, and you'll never get any fucking honesty, you know? You just have to take it for what it is. Demands of Oval Office. As a politician and former Secretary of State, Clinton had been part of the biggest decisions facing the U.S., Obama said, noting that nothing truly prepares you for the demands of the Oval Office. You can read about it, you can study it, but until you've sat at that desk, you don't know what it's like to manage a global crisis or send young people to war. But Hillary's been in the room. She's been part of those decisions. My favorite was during the convention what Joe Biden was saying. Biden took Trump to task for his trademark reality TV slogan, "You're fired." Think about that, Biden said, calling the billionaire businessman's cynicism unbounded. How can there be pleasure in "you're fired"? He has no clue about what makes America great. Actually, he has no clear period. It's really funny because I remember Obama having fun with the "you're fired" thing when they when they were at the correspondence dinner and he was making fun of Trump for having to decide to fire Gary Busey and Meatloaf on Celebrity Apprentice, and Obama and everyone else was laughing at it. They were enjoying the "you're fired" thing. I mean, I always thought it was entertaining. He was firing famous people on a reality show. What do you mean, why isn't there pleasure in that? And Trump didn't always take pleasure in that. When he said "you're fired," it wasn't always a happy thing. Sometimes he was upset when he fired people on The Apprentice. Did you ever watch that show? There was a lot of very intense emotional moments in the boardroom when Trump didn't want to fire someone like Gene Simmons, and then he had to because he couldn't make any other decision. But Joe Biden always comes out and says dumb things like this. I don't know why everyone loves Joe Biden so much. I don't know if they just watch Park and Rec or they like memes so much they think Joe Biden's awesome. Joe Biden's just kind of like he's kind of like Obama's token white friend more than Obama's a token black president. Like Joe Biden's there to be like, hey, cool, I'm hip, I'm with the black guy. Biden said Trump was unfit to be elected to the White House on November 8th. The threats are too great, the times are too uncertain to elect Donald Trump as president of the United States. Hollywood actress Sigourney Weaver said, Hillary Clinton, she gets it. She cares. She is committed. Well, shit, if Ripley says it, I mean, damn. Former Arizona Congresswoman Gabriella Giffords, who survived being shot in the head during an assassination attempt, received a standing ovation at the convention, telling the audience that she was looking forward to saying 2 words, Madam President. Geez, that didn't work out. Ugh. In the White House, she will stand up to the gun lobby. That is why I'm voting for Hillary. Oh, wow, that was a good idea. Let's go against people who like guns. That's really going to win people over Democrats. Obama also hit an optimistic tone on the direction the country is taking, saying that the America I know is full of courage and optimism and ingenuity. It is Obama. Maybe not everyone has supported you and the people that you've associated yourself with, but this country is shown with courage and a sense of optimism that we were able to stop this shift in this country and the identity of America being lost. Not a white America, an American. I considered black Americans American. I consider Hispanics American who are American. If you're a citizen of this country, I consider you American. You're the ones that brought it back to identity politics where being gay defined you, being trans defined you, being black defined you. Being a cop made you a racist. Being white made you bigoted and unable to understand the struggles of other people. Obama, you directly contributed to this whole time. And now so foolishly, once again, you try to say that you could have won. I'm going to say maybe not. Maybe not, Obama. Maybe people would have turned to get you. I know you're leaving with this high approval rating and everyone still loves you, but did you ever think that maybe a lot of this had to do with you? Maybe you made a lot of wrong decisions, and maybe a lot of people don't agree with you, and don't like the things you say, and don't like how you carry yourself, and don't like killing innocent people over in other countries with your drones, and we don't like how you talk about Islam, and we don't like how you condescendingly talk down to white Americans or the police or anything, and don't give the proper support to the foundation of this country. We need a pro-cop president, okay? Or doing interviews with Trevor Noah, the Tool, just so you two can be having that conversation for liberals to put on their Facebook, to put on their social media because they love Obama and Michelle. You got a bunch of idiots who didn't understand politics to follow you, and then when everyone else grew up, it blew up in your face, Obama, because you never evolved past that college rally level. What you were good at was getting people together to rally and all that stuff. You never got past that. You were able to handle the big guns. And I think you failed in a lot of ways. And I think Obama's a loser because of this, because Trump winning basically means that Obama's 8-year presidency, in a sense, for what he was going for and what he thought, and I think in his head, what he thought America was becoming, which was completely democratic and completely on the left and completely on his side, even if they have the popular vote, he sees now that he doesn't have that power that he thought he had, and that I thought the Democrats had. I thought the country had gone completely to the left. So it's pretty crazy that other people like myself had shifted because of the last 8 years and was sick of the bullshit. So yeah, that to me kind of sums up to me why I think Obama, and also here's some stuff from, like, read this from an article I have here, right? Um, the Democrats just can't seem to win. They want to be talking about issues, which is not true. The Democrats never actually want to talk about real issues. They just want to put Band-Aid fixes and cater to black people and tell them they're going to help them, but then Detroit and Chicago will always be the same. They want to distance themselves from the Republican convention of a week ago and show that they are different. The problem is the email controversy that seems to cloud Clinton's campaign just won't go away. Yeah, I know, even though the media tried to not make an issue out of it. Here's the thing. Obama, let me lay it out for you. You criticized this woman in 08, and you even won. You beat her. You beat her in 08 by bashing her. Then years later, you tell us to vote for this woman, even though an outsider, kind of similar to yourself, even though you were very much in the inside, but you kind of came out of nowhere, came out. And instead of maybe supporting Bernie Sanders, who supported you in 08, or finding a younger DNC candidate to come in and maybe take on Trump and his energy, you stuck with Hillary, because it was your arrogance thinking that everyone loved you so fucking much that they were going to vote and think and keep the country the way you wanted it to. And Obama's even saying now he still wants to be heavily involved even after this. I don't think Obama's going to go away, unfortunately. I think he's going to stay around in the press and people are going to go to him all the time. But I wish he'd just go keep taking his golf vacations and leave us alone. I'm sick of Obama. I'm sick of Obama talking down to me. I'm sick of him using his numbers and fan base to fall back on. When he makes a lot of mistakes. I'm sick of every time I point out my problems with Obama, everyone always goes, but George Bush, he had to make up for George Bush. Yeah, everything that's wrong with Obama has 100% to do with George Bush. Everything. Okay. That's critical thinking. And always that the Republicans were against everything he did. Even a narrative now Vice News is doing on their new documentary about Obama. It's that the Republicans stopped everything and they didn't want any progress or any progressive policies. Like Obama said, good progressive policies. Fuck your progressive policies. Liberalism, progressive policies don't fucking work. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the politics like that. I'm sick of the emotional biases that come in. I'm sick of arguing with people that just suck Obama's big black dick because of their white guilt. It's over. You're done. I love seeing you shake Trump's hand. I can't wait to see him take over the White House. I want to see Kanye perform at his inauguration. Obama, Obama basically, as Van Jones says, got white lashed, which I don't think was what it was. I don't think a bunch of white people came out, but it was kind of like, it was a funny like middle finger to Obama in a lot of ways, and maybe not even from white people, but a lot of us who just got sick of Obama's virtue signaling bullshit, and we're telling him, nope, sorry, we had to put you back down on the level because you were getting too big of a head. But this video's going on long enough. You know, this video's been fucking ridiculously long. I just wanted to put the information out there. Look at the seats Obama lost for the Democrats. Trump winning. Look at the decisions Obama made. Look how he contradicted himself throughout the years. And now see how he's even trying to now say he could have won or how things could have changed. And he's even in denial about how big of a loss this is. So it's hard not to call Obama a loser. Hillary's a bigger loser because the loss directly hit her. But from an outside perspective, if you're looking at this, this was the end of the Obama era in the same way that we had the end of the Bush era and the Republican Party. This is now the end of the Democratic Party as we know it. And they are going to have to take a long time, a lot of years to rebuild themselves. And Obama is going to have to look back at this for a long time and think about the mistakes he made. So if you like Obama or you don't like Obama, that's fine. But the reason I made this was to get to you people out there that still love Obama, like I used to like Obama. He fucked up, okay? This guy's not perfect. Quit praising him as this perfect thing. You're going to use him as a martyr now. You're going to make him this idea of what we should try to get back to. Don't go back to Obama. Move past Obama. Be better liberals. Be better Democrats. Don't make his mistakes, but keep the things about him that worked and the things about him that got people united. Learn to unite as a party, not as just Obama. Obama never cared about the Democrats as much as Obama cared about Obama. That's the big thing with Obama. It was always about Obama, and it's going to continue to be about Obama years and years and years down the road. And it'll never change. It'll never change with him because he was always that way, and we all got sucked into it. Let Obama go, find someone new, and lead your party into the future with a brighter hope. And hopefully I can join you guys again, and we can make fun of Republicans again and conservatives who are talking about, climate change being complete bullshit, or abortion should be completely illegal, and we should throw women in prison, or creationism. Let's make fun of that stuff again. Or video games cause violence. Instead, the left has become everything that I hated about the Republican Party. When I voted for Obama, and why I hated Republicans so much. I hated how they censored free speech. I hated how they pushed the Christian religious right on us. And then Obama did basically all the same things. He was abusive with military power. He didn't handle war well at all. We're still dealing with all the struggles of the Middle East. I don't like how he's handled stuff with Israel. And I think he's been one of the first presidents who's really been anti-Israel in a lot of the ways he speaks about these things. I don't like that he mocked Mitt Romney in 2012 over Russia being a threat and now saying Russia is a huge threat. I don't like that he was a soft president and then gets to act like he's a tough president when he gets criticized for this. And I don't like that Obama never seemed to actually have any real solutions. He just had ideas that weren't really ever thought or fleshed out, yet he's going to get praised for those things and these plans and these ideas that we're seeing fail over the years, like Obamacare, despite all the people on the left trying to tell me Obamacare is the best thing that ever happened. Where Trump has already been decided as a failure by everyone, even though we don't really know what's going to happen. Even if he does good, he will not get the credit for it. But Obama will go down as one of the greatest presidents ever, no matter what. Partially, I think, because he was black, partially because of how well he handled the people in the media, but I think because the left will never be able to let this go, because this will be one of their last grand victories with these kind of policies. I don't think they're going to win another election with the identity politics like that. They're going to have to win on policies that focus on economics again, and foreign policy, and the border, and things that really matter to people, and you can't keep calling people racist, you can't keep having people act like cops are racist, and you can't keep supporting supremacy groups like Black Lives Matter, which is a supremacy group. This is the Patriarchy. Like, comment, and subscribe. How do you feel about Obama? Did you like Obama? Do you think he deserves to be on this list? Because I honestly think, I don't know, you can't say he wasn't one of the biggest losers this year, just because of how this all turned out and how he's been reacting to it. I mean, the fact that there's montages now of Obama that are making fun, like as a punchline, that Trump wins, it is in a lot of ways just really funny and an ironic twist on everything that I thought was happening in 2008. The country shifts again, and we live in interesting times. But let me know what you think about Obama in the comments. And there's only a couple more of these videos left, I think. And who do you think I've left out? Who do you think's a big loser this year that I've left out? And until next time, go fuck yourselves.